Third heavy rain weekend in Switzerland. Motorcyclist dies of suspected heat exposure in Death Valley. Amid record-setting temperatures, third heavy rain weekend in Switzerland. Motorcyclist dies of suspected heat exposure in Death Valley. Amid record-setting temperatures, and more records expected to shatter as long-running blanket of heat threatens 130 million in U.S. 7 killed as landslides. Flash floods hit gold mine in Indonesia's Gorontalo province. France set for political gridlock after left-wing election win. As Reuters comments, corporate France braces for new era of political turmoil, and in French elections, second-round turnout by noon highest in 4 decades. French bond futures, Euro slip as left success sows fiscal doubt. Germany's first African-born MP to stand down after racist abuse. In the U.S., prominent Congress House Democrats want Biden to exit 2024 race. Biden says we must unite America again, in speech at Philadelphia church before traveling to Harrisburg. Harris puts focus on beating Trump, not concerns over Biden, as she tries to appeal to black voters, as U.S. Democrats view Kamala Harris as only possible replacement for Biden, commented by Wall Street Journal. Popular pirate site Netflix shuts down voluntarily. Complete disaster. Nicki Minaj fans furious over Dublin gig. As star leaves them waiting in the rain and plays for under an hour. Court says social media influencer Andrew Tate can leave Romania but remain in EU, as he awaits trial. In South Africa, yellow level 6 weather warning for the Western Cape. In the U.S., Death Valley sets a new daily record with a searing 128 degrees as West Coast heat wave drags on. Temperatures 1.5 C above pre-industrial era average for 12 months, data shows. iPhone could reportedly get Apple Intelligence and Siri features in spring 2025, with iOS 18.4 update. After 41 years, Microsoft quietly adds spell checking and autocorrect to Windows Notepad. 11 Labs releases Voice Isolator, an AI tool that removes background noise from voices for free. Warning issued to iPhone users, as hackers target Apple IDs in new cyber attack. The phenomenon in which all YouTube videos look the same is the same mechanism as biological evolution. Overseas efforts driving Hitachi's rail business to top 1 trillion yen. Reuters reports, Europe seeks industry views on China's older generation chips. China making it very difficult for you to deepen ties, says Ambassador Jorge Toledo. Bangladesh PM's China visit to feature 20 to 22 Memorandum of Understandings, no agreements, announced by Hassan. JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America and 7 mega banks paying $46 million over alleged conspiracy to rig trillion-dollar derivatives market. The Federal Reserve could slash rates by 200 points over 8 straight meetings, as the economy heads for a sharper downtrend, Citi says. Japan's base pay rises by most in 31 years. Part-time workers see robust gains, where Japan's real wages down 1.4% in May, declining for record 26th month. Barcelona residents protest against mass tourism. Most vacationing Canadians would rather drive 5 hours than fly, as per a poll. Dutch cities pushing through with no emission zones, despite new coalition's disapproval. John Cena announces he will retire from WWE after WrestleMania 2025. Mortal Kombat boss says potential spin-offs would without a doubt focus on Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Uruguay beats Brazil 4-2 on penalties after scoreless draw. Advances to Copa America semifinals. AI models that cost $1 billion to train are underway. $100 billion models coming. Largest current models take only $100 million to train, says Anthropic CEO. Multiple nations enact mysterious export controls on quantum computers. Glaze, a free tool that allows artists to prevent AI from copying their styles, has been cracked and breached. Scientists create first mouse model with complete and functional human immune system. Crew of NASA's Earthbound simulated Mars habitat emerge after a year. Bulgarian archaeologists find marble god in ancient Roman sewer. Mixing energy drinks and alcohol during adolescence impairs brain function, claims a study of rat hippocampal plasticity. Chinese study finds link between genes, diet and skin conditions. Tissue-based T-cell activation and viral RNA persist for up to 2 years after SARS-CoV-2 infection. Tampons contain toxic metals lead and arsenic, researchers find. In South Korea, more than 1,000 people fall sick after eating kimchi contaminated with norovirus. Ethereum's TVL drops to $37.87 billion, experiencing a 12.63% decrease in a week. North Carolina governor vetoes bill to prohibit CBDCs in state. Central Bank of Nigeria faults Binance for carrying out unauthorized transactions. Nigeria set to develop indigenous blockchain Nigerium to foster data sovereignty. UK court freezes Craig Wright's assets amid $1.9 million legal dispute. Gensler says FTX is not unique. Warns crypto exchanges are commingling functions. In Israel, religious phrases okayed on army headstones, including appeal for divine vengeance. YouTube rules not to remove anti-Hamas. Israeli song despite protests from pro-Palestinian activists, employees. Starmer says Palestinian state undeniable right as part of peace process. And no future for Jews. Prominent French Jews decry far left's gains in vote. China and Belarus hold anti-terror military drills on Polish border. Pope decries populists, warns democracy is in bad health. Hungary's Orbán arrives in China on peace mission for Ukraine. And China she calls on world powers to help Russia and Ukraine resume direct dialogue. As Hungary cancels visit of Germany's Baerbock amid row over Orbán and Putin meeting. Philippines says U.S. mid-range missile system to be pulled out. Japan and the Philippines sign a defense pact in the face of shared alarm over China. Malaysia sends diplomatic note to UN after Manila claims Sabah again. And, will defend against territorial claim by the Philippines, says Tokmat. 3 weeks ago, Philippines files UN claim to extended continental shelf in South China Sea. Boeing to plead guilty to fraud in U.S. probe of fatal 737 MAX crashes. Apple unfairly sacked analyst who took secret photos of female colleague. Sherry Redstone and Paramount co-host tell employees Skydance has a clear strategic vision for the future. And David Ellison said as chairman CEO, Jeff Shell as president of Paramount. Sherry Redstone to sell family empire to Skydance Media. An $8 billion deal. Paris to continue arming Ukraine. Parliamentary elections to change nothing. Announced politician. Russia foils Ukraine bid to hijack Tu-22M3 strategic bomber, security service says. In the UK, Labour to seek joint declaration with EU on wide-ranging security pact. Israel's Netanyahu insists on Gaza ceasefire deal, allowing resumption of military operations. Palestinian deputy labor minister killed in Israeli strike in Gaza City. Israeli protesters block highways, call for ceasefire to return hostages 9 months into war in Gaza. 6 injured, including 1 gored, on first day of annual bull run in Spain. Oklahoma and Alabama now have AI-powered vending machines that sell bullets. In the UK, we have too many prisoners, says new PM Starmer. A court rules that pollution has violated the rights of a river that runs through Ecuador's capital. Bangladeshi protesters demand end to civil service job quotas. In Spain, tourism industry protests against the reduction of working hours. Bars and restaurants will earn 20% less. Sister of North Korean leader Kim calls South Korea's live fire drills suicidal hysteria. China's new interception radar can track 10 hypersonic missiles at Mach 20. Iran's naval destroyer has sunk, state media says. Hawaii governor says Biden could decide within days whether to remain in the presidential race. Radio host who interviewed Biden leaves station after admitting campaign aides gave her pre-selected questions. Online reports falsely claim Biden suffered a medical emergency on Air Force One. Bolsonaro awards Milei with the Immortal, Unbreakable and Inedible medal. Indian Prime Minister Modi makes first visit to Russia since the start of its war on Ukraine. Erdogan to restore relations with Syria to how they were in the past. As Erdogan says Putin looking at holding meeting on Syria and Turkey. In Germany, tax incentives plan for foreign skilled workers. Portugal plans to reintroduce tax breaks for foreign residents. Britain's BNO visa scheme for Hong Kongers unlikely to change under Labour, analysts say. France beat Portugal in penalty shootout to advance to Euro 2024 semi-finals. For Spain versus Germany, Spain wins in extra time, advances to semi-finals. Canada wins penalty shootout against Venezuela, faces rematch with Argentina in Copa America semi-final. Biden makes another blunder, says he will beat Donald Trump again in 2020, as Biden is at peace if he loses to Trump, says as long as I gave it my all, and Biden says only the Lord Almighty could make him drop out in pivotal TV interview. Biden says is able to counter Putin contain China. Keir Starmer names new cabinet, with Reeves as Chancellor and Rayner as Deputy PM, and Starmer kills off Rwanda plan on first day as PM. Reportedly, Labour's David Lammy aims for UK foreign policy reset. Rachel Reeves becomes first female Chancellor, as PM. Starmer appoints cabinet. Sinn Féin largest Northern Ireland party in UK Parliament for first time. Rare shark that lives for 500 years could hold secret to increasing human lifespan. Kansas top court bolsters a state right to abortion and strikes down 2 anti-abortion laws. City of Edmonton stops funding drug overdose prevention pilot downtown. Reformist Pezeshkian wins Iran's presidential runoff election, besting hardliner Jalali. Jeremy Corbyn re-elected in Islington North after expulsion from Labour. Former Taiwan vice premier under investigation on suspicion of bribery. Cost of Sentinel ICBM swells again to $214 million a missile. Reportedly, Russia has forced the West to ramp up production of older weapons, even gear it wasn't making anymore. China's latest stealth fighter jet, J-31B, ready for military service, CCTV video post suggests. Newsom says, Trump wants to take us back to a pre-1960s world. Trump denies knowing about Project 2025, his allies' sweeping plan to transform the U.S. government, as Donald Trump claims Republicans' Project 2025 has nothing to do with him. Abysmal. Italian Premier Meloni rebukes the youth wing of her far-right party for glorifying fascism. Trump wants secret records case paused after immunity ruling, and former Trump staffer alleges campaign settled seedy suits in bombshell filing. SBF's family controlled $100 million in political donations. Far-right, including France's National Rally, use AI to support political messaging, reports say. NATO has 2 to 3 years to prepare for reconstituted Russian army, top Norwegian general says. UK's Labour Party to continue supporting Ukraine in war against Russia and on its way to NATO, as Marine Le Pen promises French far-right will rein in aid to Ukraine, slams soccer star Mbappé, as Le Pen says Mbappé should not lecture French voters. NATO's Stoltenberg rules out Ukraine land for peace deal. U.S. and Republic of Korea concerned, DPRK may send troops to Ukraine. Putin Kim have reportedly discussed possibility, and Ukrainian partisans blow up Russian railroad track, used to transport ammo from North Korea. Hungary's Viktor Orbán makes surprise visit to Moscow, angering other EU leaders, and reportedly, Hungarian PM leaves Moscow before rainstorm. Borrell says Orbán doesn't represent EU in Russia. Orbán calls it Brusselian nonsense. Spain's Vox and Dutch Freedom Party join Orbán's Patriots for Europe. Reportedly, millions of Malaysians dip into retirement savings to make ends meet. As inflation soars, Myanmar shop owners are jailed for raising wages. Canadian unemployment rate rises to 6.4%. With student summer jobs especially hard to come by. India will fail to plug jobs gap, even with 7% growth, Citi says. Netflix, Disney and Paramount are fighting Canada's new streaming tax. Apple OK's Epic Games marketplace app in Europe. Grand Theft Auto 5 Trevor DLC scrapped as GTA Online was such a cash cow, developer says. Ticketmaster hack group claims access to millions of Taylor Swift tickets. Russia forces Apple to remove VPN apps from the App Store. Global Times comments as European leaders, businesses oppose European Commission's tariff hike on Chinese EVs. EU slaps Chinese electric cars with tariffs of up to 38%. BYD's steep EV discounting in Thailand sparks backlash. PM seeks assurances. Accord's 19% plunge can't stop Honda's rise by 12% this year. Underground network smuggles NVIDIA's AI GPUs into China despite U.S. sanctions. Some smugglers even sell entire servers. Silicon Valley steps up screening on Chinese employees to counter espionage. OpenAI's internal AI details stolen in 2023 breach, NYT reports. YouTube's updated eraser tool removes copyrighted music without impacting other audio. Antitrust lawsuit threatens Apple's lucrative deal with Google. Microsoft will pay $14 million to settle allegations it discriminated against employees who took leave. Samsung quietly launches 61.44 terabytes SSD, talks about a 122.88 terabytes model, and Samsung expects more than 1,400% profit jump in Q2 on demand for AI chips. No leap seconds added to universal time in 2024, IRS says. A developer somehow got an entire OS running on Google Drive. Boeing crisis as more than 100 whistleblowers contact FAA. JP Morgan warns customers, prepare to pay for checking accounts. FTC warns Gigabyte, Oshrock, and Zotac about warranty stickers. Russia conducts mobile nuclear missile launcher drills after tactical exercises with Belarus. Italy to order 24 additional Eurofighter Typhoon fighters. Taiwanese fishing crew interrogated for allegedly operating in Japan's waters. Nvidia gets rare downgrade on valuation concerns after rally. Rating agency S&P sends debt warning to US, France and other top economies. Musk suggests late Twitter disclosure was a mistake, seeks to end lawsuit. Bitcoin set for worst week in nearly a year on Mt. Gox liquidation fears, as Mt. Gox begins repaying Bitcoin to creditors a decade after exchanges collapse. German MP urges government to halt BTC sales, in lieu of need for strategic reserve. Iran's role in October 7th attack will be proven beyond doubt. ADL says recently Iran's Khamenei says region needed the October 7th attack, and Palestinian presidency hits back at remarks by Iran's Khamenei on October 7th attack. Hamas accepts U.S. proposal on talks over Israeli hostages, Hamas source says, and Hamas clears the way for a possible ceasefire, after dropping key demand, officials say. Montreal police remove protesters from pro-Palestinian encampment at Victoria Square. Reuters reports Philippines turned down U.S. help amid South China Sea tensions, says military chief, and China anchors monster ship in South China Sea, Philippine Coast Guard says. Japan calls Chinese buoy in its southern continental shelf regrettable, and U.S. sending dozens of new fighter jets to Japan bases in $10 billion force modernization. SCMP comments as, China treads complex path between North and South Korea as nuclear risk rises. Putin says discuss principles of Europe's future security architecture with Orban, and from Orban to Putin we do not feel safe, we see the images of war and destruction, as Russia and Hungary continue cooperating on basis of pragmatism, announced Putin. Serbia vows unwavering Russian support despite Western pressure, says Deputy PM. Armenia, U.S. to hold joint military drills on July 15 to 24. U.S. postpones military drills with Georgia due to strained relations. Vatican excommunicates a former ambassador to the U.S. and declares him guilty of schism. Hamas says it rejects any statements about foreign forces entering Gaza. Turkey's Erdogan hopeful on Gaza ceasefire, says West must pressure Israel, Haberturk reports. Hamas briefs Hezbollah on proposal for ceasefire. Hezbollah welcomes step, sources say. Putin unlikely to congratulate Starmer on election win, announces Kremlin. Putin congratulates Pezeshkian on his election as Iranian president. Donald Trump congratulates right-wing pal Nigel Farage on UK election win, but ignores new Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Rishi Sunak resigns as Tory leader as well as PM after election defeat. Business leaders, pro-democracy activists send letter asking Biden to withdraw, as a $14 billion Walmart heir joins Novogratz urging Biden exit. President Biden fights critics calling for him to drop out, asserts he's most qualified to beat Trump in high-stakes ABC News interview. New units of Pak's nuclear plant to provide Hungary with clean energy, announces Putin 2 years ago. Hungary moves ahead with construction of Russian-built nuclear reactors. BASF, Aramet dropped $2.6 billion Indonesian nickel project that threatens isolated tribe. Vehicle with radioactive material packaging is stolen in Sao Paulo, warns National Nuclear Energy Commission, and part of stolen radioactive material is found open in the east zone of Sao Paulo. Erdogan proposes summit with Putin, Assad to address Syria's domestic situation. Kyrgyzstan's intelligence services thwart attempted coup. Slovak PM Fico makes first public appearance since assassination attempt. Cardi B sued by producers claiming Enough Miami infringed on their Reservation Dogs song. Justin Bieber enthralls guests at Mukesh Ambani's son's pre-wedding bash in India. Marlon Wayans updates fans after home invasion, says he had nothing valuable to rob. OVCloud hit with record 840 million PPS DDoS attack using MikroTik routers. With RockU 2024, 10 billion passwords leaked in the largest compilation of all time. Bootloader malware still active, deploys new versions for enhanced attacks. Chinese crews drill under Xinjiang Glacier for super-long highway tunnel. Milan Airport to be renamed Silvio Berlusconi Airport. In Germany, number of road fatalities increases by 1.8% compared to the previous year to 2839. Compared to 2010, 17.1% more people killed on bicycles and 35.2% fewer people killed in car accidents. 28 Hong Kong students attain perfect score in IB exams, amid time zone cheating controversy. In the U.S., 11 years old sets 2 Long Island houses on fire in 4th of July mishap. Adult who provided fireworks arrested. Also 2 killed and 3 injured in July 4th attack in California Beach City. China's AI competition deepens as since time. Alibaba claim progress at AI show. Too many AI models in China. Baidu CEO warns of wasted resources, lack of applications. AI industry needs to earn $600 billion per year to pay for massive hardware spend. Fears of an AI bubble intensify. In wake of Sequoia report. Storm barrel spares Mexico's Yucatan beaches, takes aim at Texas. Mount Everest's highest camp is littered with frozen garbage, and cleanup is likely to take years. Starling's migratory